How good is the start?
It's a good start.
It's a great start.
Yeah, it's the first win.
And why do we play?
You play to win the game.
And what do we want?
I want winners.
I'm not bipartisan. I'm not bipolar. I'm not Biden.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If that is what you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like this video and answer the question in the comments below. The preseason AP top 25 come out, and it is a doozy. We get to see Penn State at number 2 behind Texas, Ohio State at number 3. I'm going to start there. I can't in good conscience put Penn State in the top 5 because Penn State has not shown it can beat top 5 opponents with anything like consistency. As a matter of fact, if you have been a top 5 program and you have played Penn State since James Franklin took over the program, you're going to be 15-1. Okay, which means the Penn State's 1-15 against top 5 opponents. If you can't beat top 5 opponents, how do you become a top 5 team, let alone the number 2 team in the country? Now, this is saying Penn State's the best team in the Big Ten, let alone what they are supposed to do, which is play for a national championship. A lot of good things have been said about this program over and over and over again. Drew Allard, Nick Singleton, Katron Allard, deny Dennis Sutton. But when it comes time to beat Notre Dame, Drew Allard threw the pick. When it comes time to beat Ohio State, they come up short. As a matter of fact, Michigan and Ohio State are 7-1 against Penn State for the last 4 years. It's just not been what they've been able to do. And until they can do it, I'm not going to put them there. Now, they get an opportunity with Oregon a little bit later in September and then Ohio State once again. But if you're an Ohio State fan, you got to be a little bit pissed at this because Ohio State won the national championship the hard way, right? No buys, straight into the chaos, beat Tennessee, beat Oregon, beat Texas, beat Notre Dame. And oh yeah, they've got that dude from 838 out there that is Earth 838 and Jeremiah Smith. Yes, they lost their starting quarterback in Will Howard, but they got a 5-star and the best quarterback in the class in Julian Sayin. CJ Donaldson, James People, I think are going to be just fine at tailback. I think losing Emeka Ibuka means something, but that's Carnell Tate over there. That's Brandon Ennis over there. You got Caleb Downs, who I think is the second best player in all of college football playing safety for you. It's new coordinators in Matt Patricia and Brian Hartline, but I mean, the schemes are the same. I don't expect a whole lot to change here. And if you're Ohio State, you're fine with this. All you got to do is keep winning and you'll be at number 1 anytime soon. But if you're an Ohio State fan, you're going, all right, so now we just got to beat the brakes off of Texas. That's what you're telling us. Okay. And that's the game August 29th. Ohio State, Texas is going to be the big one. Clemson at number 4. Georgia at number 5. Fine with that. Notre Dame at 6. I'm fine with that. Oregon at 7. Got a soft schedule, new quarterback. I'm okay with that. Alabama at 8. LSU at 9. Miami at 10. Arizona State at 11. Illinois at 12. 13, we got South Carolina. 14, Michigan. They're getting the benefit of the doubt because they played most of last year without a quarterback. Matter of fact, I would say they played all of last year without a quarterback because they didn't have a quarterback to pass more than 1,200 yards. And they still won 8 games. They beat the defending national champions, and they beat this Alabama team that is ranked ahead of them that won just 9 games. They're getting the Kalen DeBoer bump, and I think Ty Simpson has something to prove. They're really high on Keelan Russell. I don't know how quickly we might see him, but Ryan Grubb, I think, could make them into a better offense with Ryan Williams getting more of the Jeremiah Smith service where, hey, we've got a better player than you at wide receiver. Why don't we just go ahead and use that and then let Jam Miller and those guys run out the clock late in the game? They're going to be better defensively. I would not want to be Tommy Castellanos when Alabama has to play Florida State later to start week 1 because he's been talking a lot of noise and he's a running quarterback, which means people are going to be hunting him like Deontay Lawson. Florida, I got at 15, or they got at 15. 16, we got Southern Methodist. 17, we got Kansas State. Oklahoma enters the fray at number 18. Left out of the coaches poll for the first time since 1999. And I was talking to someone, forget who it was exactly, but I was going, what the hell was all this good press about Oklahoma? Because it wasn't coming from me. It's coming from everybody else. John Mateer this, Jaden Ott that, Deion Burks is back. Brent Venables is calling the defense. You know, we got Ben Arbuckle calling the offense. They're going to be good this year. And then I saw the coaches, the 62 that are on the board that get to vote, decided, nah, we don't think they're that good. Ranked them 26 if you're keeping score. Put Boise State at 25. AP, apparently, they've been reading the things that they write, which are that Oklahoma ought to be much better than it was last year. 6-7 is not the standard Oklahoma. 2 losing seasons in the last 25 years. Both of them belong to Brent Venables in just 3 years' time. He needs to be on the come up this year. There's a lot of heat around Brent Venables in that seat. I like me some Brent Venables. I really enjoy that he hired Jim Nagy as the general manager. I think Oklahoma has the parts to go compete in the SEC, but it's going to be tough, man. There's 6-7 teams on that schedule that are going to be preseason top 25 opponents. Then you got A&M at 19, Indiana at 20. I think that's okay. That's fine. They fell 10 spots from the spot where they ended, but we're talking about Indiana being in the preseason AP top 25, perhaps for the first time since, I believe, the 1960s. Curt Cignetti making it happen there and doing enough in this offseason for us to believe that they can be great again. Ole Miss at 21 with Austin Simmons being the new quarterback. They got new dudes at wide receiver. We'll see just how much it matters that Trey Wallace is over there. Iowa State at 22, they earned that. Rocco Beck's a dude. Matt Campbell's been coaching his butt off since he got to Iowa State. Texas Tech at 23, the money has entered the fray. The team with a $4 billion sale from a booster who said, hey, how much money y'all want to go do this? And he said, as much as you give us. And they go get themselves an offensive line. They go get themselves the best defensive transfer in the spring portal, and David Bailey. They expect to be good, but this is a Texas Tech program that hasn't won 9 games since 2009. They've been 8 wins or less for over a decade. We're talking about 16 years now that they're looking at this. They expect to contend for the Big 12 championship this year. We will see just how good they can be and what I think is going to be a really thick Big 12. I got, for instance, Houston ranked as a top 35 program in my Ultimate 136, which we're going to do the live show right after you're watching this. So if you have the chance to join us, go ahead and do that. Tennessee at 24. I think the Joey Aguilar, George McIntyre, Jake Mecklinger part of this is really coming to the fray, but more than anything else is not having Dylan Sampson and needing the defense to be good while your offense gets it together and figures out who they're going to be. Boo Carter needs to do something. Chris Brazzell needs to put this suspended license cape behind him if he can and get back to playing football. Mike Matthews needs to break out. Boise State at 25. And then those that are getting votes include BYU, Utah, Baylor, Louisville, USC, Georgia Tech, Missouri. I thought that'd be a top 25 program. Tulane, Nebraska, UNLV. My goodness, they're all that's Alex Orji and Dan Mullen. Okay. Toledo, Auburn, James Madison, Memphis, Florida State, Duke, Liberty, Navy, Iowa, Texas Christian, Pittsburgh, Army, Colorado gets 1 vote, and Louisiana Lafayette or Louisiana, Raging Cajuns, gets a vote too. On the whole, I think Penn State's going to be the takeaway from this thing. Them at number 2 is a high watermark. I don't see it. That's the highest that I think we're going to see Penn State all year, and I don't understand. I don't understand why you can make this team the number 2 team in the country given their track record. It's not that they have not had the talent. They've had Saquon Barkley. They've had Micah Parsons. I mean, we keep going down the list on this one. Tyler Warren. They've had at least one stud, Abdul Carter, every single year. James Franklin has been there, and yet they can't beat top 5 opponents, and they can't even win the Big Ten championship. I think maybe them pushing Oregon into the deep water in the Big Ten title game might have done something for you, but then when you watched Ohio State basically rip their arms off and beat them to death with it, how do you do that? I don't understand. And I'm going to continue to beat this up until such a time as Penn State can beat a top 5 opponent. Otherwise, what are we doing here? The rankings got to be something. They got to mean something. I use criteria. We'll talk about it as I go through my 136, but this doesn't really make sense to me.